Hi, Nick from Nick's Film Jottings here. This is about why Vertigo is bloody marvellous. This will come as no surprise to the international film critics, who ever since Hitch started to be appreciated in the 70s, consistently placed it in their top 10s of the decade. In fact, in 2012 it became the #1 film of all time. But to me, there seem to be more entertaining Hitchcocks out there, also packed with brilliance. So what makes Vertigo so great? Well, there's lots of obvious things about it that are brilliant, right from the word go. There's things like this famous Vertigo trick shot, which other filmmakers like using as well, here by Spielberg and his cameraman Bill Butler. Then there's also this very distinctive red and green thing going on all over the place. This also has been picked up by other people. Here's Bob Rafelson and Conrad Hall at it in Black Widow. And not to mention the possibly career best performances of James Stewart and Kim Novak. Actually, that was one of my learning curves, just appreciating how good Kim is. In that regard, it's great to see her in a variety of other roles to see what great range she has. But this is unquestionably her tour de force. And as a quick aside here, I love both the acting and the character played by Barbara Bel Geddes. Really, it's the Thelma Ritter character from Rear Window again. So there's a proliferation of things that contribute to this film's greatness. But there are three things that do it for me. First is this moving tracking stuff that he's done before, which is so hypnotic. Stuff like this that hallmarks Hitch for me just as much as a shower murder. It's also weirdly something that other directors can't do in the same way. Even the talented Brian De Palma, who's made a career out of ripping off the master, can't do it in quite the same way. We should mention the collaboration with Bernard Herrmann here, who's composed maybe the best film score ever written, which crops up in other people's films also. The second thing is about the camera setups, and again, it's not the flashy ones that you have to admire, but the simpler scenes, the staging.
I asked you to come up here, Scotty, knowing that you'd quit detective work. But I wondered whether you'd go back on the job as a special favor to me. I want you to follow my wife. No, it's not that.
Look, for example, at how low this angle is. Lower than Ozu. Not quite as low as Wells, and how the setups keep changing. There's a lot of work in all of this, a lot more than a director just plonking a camera down and letting the actors wander around it. It takes a great deal of care and skill, and when I see respected film critics comparing other un-Hitchcocky films to his, it's just mind-boggling. And then it's these little treasures that takes ages to discover. You realise how subtle the master is. The first time I noticed this, my hairs stood on end. It's also so quick. There's a lovely edit there too. It's not, you notice, the key light lighting up, but the background light. So beautiful. And here's another example of technical tricks with lighting. This is in the bookshop where we learn about Carlotta's dark past. Almost imperceptibly it gets darker and darker. And then the light just sort of pops back on at the end. Finally, I do love the way Hitch ends on what I think is quite a funny moment. As though he's saying, this has been quite a serious 2 hours. Here's something to make you giggle on the way out of the theatre.